Jazz lovers rejoice because we have a beautiful reissue to talk about today, and that is Waltz for Debby from the Kraft OJC series. I'll tell you all about the new reissue, how it stacks up against the Analogue Productions version that I have, and more. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for my voice. I've had a cold for the last week, and my voice is getting lower. So. But I'm hearing fine, thank God, and I've been breaking in my cartridge with this album, and it's been so much fun because I needed to build up some hours to get beyond 25 hours, and I didn't want to do any sound comparisons till I was sure that things were sort of leveling out with the cartridge. So the Hana ML now has about 30 hours on it. Since I was sick and home all day, I played both of these back and forth, back and forth. I think I've heard each one about 12 times. And there were times when I could not tell which one I was listening to. I forgot, because they are more similar than they are different. I'll tell you all about that in a second. Before I get started, if you haven't gotten in on the Tone Poet giveaway, there's still time, probably about 20 days before we give it away. All you got to do is go to the video that I'm going to link above and below called Tone Poet Giveaway, and you can win a sealed copy of Babyface Willette Face to Face. Just watch the video and do what it says. Leave a comment in the comment section, and you'll be entered automatically. Also, this and other recommended jazz titles will be in the description box, a link to the Amazon store. So now there's one link for everything. I'll leave a separate link for this if you're interested as well. But it's really cool to go to the store and see all the different things there. And you see all the current prices and pictures and stuff. So it's a much, much better experience. And you will only see things that I recommend there. So thank you so much for doing that. It helps support the channel if you purchase through those links. So I've had this record since my just starting out in jazz, probably one of the first handful of jazz records I had. The reason I bought it originally was because Analogue Productions had just started reissuing vinyl, and they had their own label. This is 009, very early on in the game. I purchased their classical ones. I purchased this one, the Weavers at Carnegie Hall. Several. Yeah, I wanted to support this endeavor by Chad. So Waltz for Debby was one of the first albums that I bought in the jazz genre. And I don't think I could have picked a better one for someone just beginning to listen to jazz. It's from a live date from 1961 at the Village Vanguard. Apparently a small gathering. It sounds like there's about 50 people there, maybe. Judging by the applause in between. They're fairly quiet, but the place is a little lively. You hear sounds of what's going on in the background. Glasses clinking and, I don't know, little snippets of conversation. It makes it quite interesting and kind of like a time capsule. It's like being transported back to the venue, which is so cool. And being a piano trio, this was very, very easy for me to get into as a beginner into jazz. I did a video called 10 Jazz Albums for Beginners, and I did choose the companion album called Sunday at the Village Vanguard as my choice for these two albums. To which of those two albums be included, but either one could have been included. Either one's perfect for someone just getting into jazz, and they're both from the same date. So these were recorded in one day on a Sunday in, I think, June 1961. 10 days later, the bassist, Scott LaFaro, was in an accident and passed away. So these were released after his death, while Bill Evans took a little break. And the first album, Sunday at the Village Vanguard, focused more on his contributions to the band. But the second album doesn't really come across as leftovers at all. It's more of a complete picture of what the band was doing at the time. There are 6 tracks, and they become standards for Bill Evans and across jazz as well. My Foolish Heart, Waltz for Debby, which is an original, Detour Ahead, My Romance, Some Other Time, and Milestones. The album features Bill Evans on piano, Scott LaFaro on bass, and Paul Motian on drums. So, what can I tell you? A perfect jazz album for beginners, very easy, relaxing, melodic, inventive. The musicians just seem so in touch with each other. They play off each other. And one thing I noticed about this that is so cool is on either version, honestly, either version is fine. The band is in control of their dynamics, so this is used so effectively throughout the record. Like, you'll hear Bill doing a piano part, and then he'll recede like a little bit back, and then the bass will come out. And it happens throughout this record where they each kind of pull back and come forward, and it swells like out, and it's very, very cool, very effective. The often used word telepathy is in evidence here, like each one playing off each other in a way that gives them freedom, but is still within some kind of structure. That's how I perceive it, and I think a lot of listeners will perceive it that way too. Just beautiful, beautiful record. This Analogue Productions version is an all-tube mastering by Doug Sax, pressed on 180 gram vinyl by RTI. And honestly, this has been a benchmark for me for years. I think it is perfect the way it is. And I was very, very excited to see how the new one would turn out, if it could even equal this. There was talk about the tape being damaged in the subsequent years since this came out, which was in the 90s, I believe, late 90s. There was no reissues. Even MoFi apparently turned down the tape because of tape damage. So when I saw that the original Jazz Classic series was going to release it, I was like, I hope the tape is in good shape. I trust Kevin Gray will do a great job, and he did a fabulous job. And this is like the reissue of the year. It sounds amazing. Does it sound a lot different than the Doug Sax? No, not terribly different. The Doug Sax has maybe a little more rounded presentation and a touch more detail on Kevin's cut, but both are lush and beautiful and clear. There is no tape damage. I mean, there is some minor tape damage on a couple of spots. It's like a second, maybe a wrinkled tape or something like that. It's very, very, very minor. Most people would not notice it. I was looking for it because I had heard there was a couple spots where the piano wavered a little bit, and it is, but it's there, but it's not like in your face or a problem. He did a beautiful job with the mastering. The only thing I noticed on the pressings themselves, now RTI was really knocking it out of the park when the AP came out. Beautiful, buttery smooth pressing, just gorgeous. And the optimal is very, very good, but 3 copies have not a defect, but something that kind of spoils it for me. The lead out on side 1 right as the clapping is happening, the lead out starts, and you hear during the last couple claps, so there's a little noise on the lead out. Both of my copies have it. I talked to a friend, and their copy has it too. So there's that. Hopefully there are other presses that don't have it. It's not affecting the music at all. It's just after that spellbinding performance, I wanted to hear complete silence on the lead out. But overall, this is like I said, the reissue of the year. If you don't have this in your collection, this is a no-brainer. The original Analogue Productions 33 is very, very expensive. Like, top price is $400, medium price is like $150 or something. The original Jazz Classics is the ticket. So, if you want a beautiful, beautiful classic jazz album, you're absolutely going to be thrilled with the sound. This is it. Waltz for Debby, the Bill Evans Trio. Get it. Get it. It's wonderful. Check the links below. As always, if you use the links, you're helping out the channel, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm Scott for the Pressing Matters. Have a great day.